YouTube. It's Cheryl Shaman, aka Thank You for the Platform. YouTube, Sunshine Murray, and I am back. I have been gone for about a week and a half. I downloaded this ODS software, streaming software. I got to learn it more about the settings because I wanted to bring more videos and more things to the channel, but I need to just get on here and do the content. So I'm back. It's Sunshine Murray. Thank you for all my subscribers. Come on, subscribe, share this video, get the likes up. You know, this is a new channel, so I need your support. And to let's get this YouTube channel going. So it's Cheryl Shana, aka Sunshine Murray, and this has been a difficult week mentally for me, especially. So I decided to use this opportunity to talk about how to overcome uh like mental challenges because they're very difficult. They're very hard for everyone. Everyone goes through different situations and we all handle it, but I always say that it's not what happens to you, it is how you address the situation. So sometimes it's hard for us to use our own advice. You know what I'm saying? That's just like some things, in life is just really crazy. Like mechanics that ride around in raggedy cars or interior decorator, their homes are always torn up from the front up. So sometimes when you're giving advice, we need to learn how to receive and accept our own advice. And it's just difficult. So I went through some really rough mental changes. And as I began to talk to someone else, they were seeming to feel like the same way. And I was like, maybe it's something in the atmosphere, and maybe everybody is feeling like when you're taking three steps ahead, something happens, or not just that, or it's always constantly something. Soon as you get one thing out the way, here's something else. Is like some trolling type of thing going on. So that's very challenging. It is very challenging. Even I've been seeing on Facebook, some of my friends have been in situations where they have broken up with their mate, or close friends has broken up. That's very challenging because I have been in really serious breakups where it was just mentally dark, mentally depressing. But one thing I realized is that is just temporary. It's temporary. How you feeling? It's hard to make a quick transition into something else, especially when you've been with someone. But it's just cases, and when someone is maybe unfaithful, or it's not even that. It could even be like in my situation, just recently separating from a lifelong business partner. It doesn't have to be relationship. It doesn't have to be sexual. It could be business, and you could be feeling the impact of that. Because my personal feeling was, I feel like it's just a couple of people out here. I help them with their business. And now that I would like to have a chance to have a business, it's like I'm getting no support, but it's cool. I'm not tripping, but I helped you. And then I noticed that like our relationship was maybe just a business relationship, which I thought over all of these years with two separate people, female and a male, that our relationship was more than just business, because you came to me when you was at your very wit's end and asked me for my help, and I helped you with your business with my knowledge, seriously, or just referring someone. And I didn't even ask for a payment. I just asked if I ever need help establishing a business. But I noticed helping people with their business, and after their business got established, it's like they didn't even want me around. Like, really? But you asked me to help you build this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in certain situations. So it was just mentally challenging. It makes you mentally angry, but you have to learn from these situations. I've learned that I am going to, support myself, support my own ideas, my own visions, and I don't have time anymore to support other people's businesses, their families, their whole businesses. I mean, seriously, even if it was just me referring a few patients, I was referring patients. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just a referral, but to you, those people are coming through your door receiving mad services that you are getting paid for. Or in some cases, people used to ask me to refer, a marijuana doctor or a pain specialist doctor, and I know those type of people, and I was just referring. So it's been cases where the doctor was getting money and the business was getting money, and it's like people was trying to act like I was the enemy or something, but you know how that is. It's like flip flop, flip flop, flip flippy, flippy, flop flop. Anyway, um, sometimes my point is you have to just laugh at people and laugh at the situations and learn from the situations real quick, and don't drag it out a long time. If it's a sometimes when it's a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, there's other things that is interplay, emotional feelings that's interplay, that it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Because people out here is not playing about their mate or they situations, but I have seen situations where people have just broke up out the clear blue sky, and then you didn't even know that that was coming, and that just came out the clear blue sky. But I guess you never know what happens in somebody's mind or behind closed doors. So, me looking on the outside in, I don't know. Maybe they knew that that was coming, but the transition of that, or just the idea of you're with someone and they cheat on you, or have I heard situations of people actually stealing people's identity or money? It gets deeper, out of their wallet. These are things that will mentally make a person go literally crazy. But you have to realize that this person has definitely got some serious issues, especially if they're messing with you. Because 9 times out of 10, people that do this are messing with people that will really, hurt them. But we can't do that. We have to learn from the experience, move on. This is life. We learn from these things. The way we deal with that emotionally is, if it's in a breakup, a relationship, or if it's in a like the death of a family member, we do have a grieving process. You are going to cry. You're going to the process. But what I'm saying is, we cannot just draw the process out. Like, I've been going through something for like 2 days. I need to just let it go now, because I cannot continue to let my morning come, and I still got dragging this luggage on from the other day, and it's just like some serious stuff, and it's just like some real serious trolling things that's going on here. And then I'm like, just stop trolling me. Just like, I'm feeling just like, just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? And I know a few of you are feeling the same way. We want to move on. We have plans for 2022. We've already had issues in situations. Um, we're just trying to move on in 2022. I mean, in 2022, I thought, when when I was in like the 70s or the 80s, I thought around now we would be like the Jetsons, riding around in our own personal aircraft, having robots waiting on us and everything. That's what I thought we would be doing this 2022. So we definitely don't want to be getting trolled with situations, um, just our shoulders weighed down with bills, things like that. Sometimes we just have to take a minute and just be like, let me just chill for a minute. Let me relax, do something that I need to do. that gives me happiness, that gives me joy. If that's listening to some good uplifting music, some songs lead us down a path and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm here. Some music you have to really pay attention to because it's designed to make you feel sad. So if you're into music or movies, look at something uplifting. Try to cut on like some motivational, because even if you're not feeling it, you would begin to feel better. And I'm not saying that that's going to cure depression, anxiety, panic attacks, but it's definitely going to start to help you and help us to work on not having an anxiety attack, not having a panic attack, not having the anxiety, not having the depression. Because I notice when we allow to have these things slip in, then that's when the pain slips in. Cause and deflection. The pain slips in. So it's hard to do, but sometimes we have to grow up, and because we are having all type of, I'm hearing adults, it doesn't matter which age, all type of adults having these type of thoughts. Okay. um when I was younger, I had those type of thoughts. I have, I was actually kicked out of mental health facilities when I was a teenager. That's how over the top it was for me. I had no remorse for my actions, and well, I was very territorial. And there was a mental health facility over on 6 Mile, Sinai Grace Mental Health Facility, and I got kicked out of there because I choked out a young male, a young teenage male. I choked out a young teenage male. But I think the male was being offensive to me. I don't remember, but whatever it was, it wasn't that. And they called my parents and they was like, listen, I think I was maybe about 14 then. They was like 13 or 14. They was like, we can't contain her here. She's, choking out the residents. I remember I choked him out until he passed out. And I think he was acting like, so my thing is this: if you're not crazy, don't act crazy. Don't. Because you have people that have survived mental illness that know how to act and know that they cannot physically attack or verbally attack people in society. So if you're not crazy, don't act crazy. Don't huff and puff and try to blow the house down. Don't try to be tough, seeing threats, because you have people that have, um, what can I say, mastered mental health. And you have to have respect for those people, because those people are the ones that survive mental health. They survive mental health. And I remember him coming to me acting crazy. I think he had a butter knife or something, but he ended up getting choked out, passed out on the floor. And then I remember, just to share some of my story about surviving mental health, just giving you little tidbits. This is not even the gist of it all. This is for real. I remember, first of all, I remember as a young girl, my grandmother going to Northville Psychiatric Hospital, and I remember her picking me up from school. It was Custer Elementary at the time on Linwood and Finkel. That's near Finkel and Linwood, Finkel and Dexter area. And we lived right on Princeton Street. Both of my grandparents lived on Princeton Street. And definitely my grandmother would be on Linwood when I get out of school, butt naked, trying to get on the Linwood bus. But I would walk my grandmother home as a young girl. get her clothes on, and there was some stores. It was a grocery store and a little hardware store that had candy and things on Puritan and Linwood that my grandmother used to go to. So I would go and get her a little sundress, some underwear, and a bra on, and some flip flops on, because all she knew that she was picking me up from school. And the kids would be laughing and stuff, and I just wasn't having it. Don't laugh at my grandmother, because it would happen on occasion. So I had to get a little rough with the little kids. I remember getting hit with a brick in my head one time, and from some little kids and everything, defending my grandmother. And I remember several times going and seeing the Linwood bus just stop right there in Linwood and John C. Lodge, and I knew it was my grandmother, and she'd be trying to get on the bus to get down to Puritan. So we was right there on Princeton and John C. Lodge. So we would walk that short distance, just a short distance, back to the house, get some clothes on her, and whatever. My grandmother was early in her days like a Coca-Cola shape, beautiful, long hair, natural hair. And then she got older. I guess she gained a lot of weight, and I don't know. So that's just a little bit of that. But back to surviving mental health. When I was 15 years old, the doctors at Kirkwood Hospital suggested to my parents, and my mother's still alive now. My father talked about it before he passed, that they wanted to split my head open so that they could see what the issues were, and that means they wanted to operate and split a line through the middle of my head to open up, and that's what something that they were trying out at that time. And that was in the 80s. And my father was like, hell no. Ain't nobody about to do that to my daughter and split her head open. And then I think my mother just was like, whatever she need, you know. You know what I'm saying? My mother was like, whatever she need to get done, let's get it done. And my dad was like, ain't nobody doing surgical help on my daughter. And they had to come and get me from Kirkwood, because Kirkwood was like, she can't stay here, you know? So I looked up, and I was escaping Northville Hospital as I was a teenager, getting to 18, 17 at the time, but I think I was too young to be there. But the things that I was doing was so insane that my age was, not the option, just safety. So they felt like the most safe place was Northville. And when I say this is real facts, not capping, um, when they came in the room to try to put me in a straitjacket, I remember, like, wow, I ended up in the place where I used to visit my grandmother, because my grandmother used to have to be in there for 2 months, because I remember the ambulance and the police having to come into the house to get her. So I don't know, like, how serious that was. I had one, two, three uncles there, a mother, an auntie there, so and a grandfather. So I don't know what the issue may have been, or how 5 or 6 people couldn't handle one person. But all I know is that my grandmother treated me with love and respect, and we used to go on trips. When she got out of Northville, she used to have to go up on 7 Mile and Wyoming to Kirkwood. Was it Kirkwood? And we would go on trips, and they would take us all on trips and stuff. So I noticed, I think I was about 15 or 16. I was like, man, I done made it to Northville. Like, for real. So the I wasn't staying in Northville. It just wasn't gonna happen. It was off 7 Mile. And by this time we were living in the 7 Mile area. So I was paying attention when I was in the ambulance on the way, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I had people that drove, and at the time I was dating Crazy Zay. Okay, so Isaiah Miles, and we called him Crazy Zay because me and Crazy Zay was doing some things. We was jumping off the Southfield Freeway on Pembroke and Southfield. We was jumping out of cars. Um, wow, I am so lucky to be alive. Back in our day, in the '80s, in the early '80s, I just didn't know what I was doing, but it would be me, Crazy Zay, Cameron, my cousin, my brother, Jerome. I think I might have been the only crazy female because I wasn't staying with my parents at the time because I really was renting other houses. Like on the Finkel and Kentfield area. I was on the Brightmore area. I had my own house on Finkel and Blackstone, and then I had family on Finkel and Chapel. So like when between 14 and 16, I really had my own houses, like houses. I had my own houses. I was not renting because my mother and father had to come to a house on Finkel and Kenfield one time, and they didn't know that I owned the house. And it was a bunch of adults in the house, and I was like 16 at the time. And they came and they was like, "We came to get our daughter," and everybody was coming out the house like, "This Cheryl's house." They was like, "This Cheryl's house, like this not our house." And my mother and them was looking at me like, "How did you buy a house?" I had been there for like 2 months already because I had friends that own property and stuff in the Brightmore area, and all up in Finkel and stuff. So, and houses wasn't that expensive to get. So back to Northville, I realized I was in Northville. So the orderly came into the room, and in Northville, you have to used to take shots and something called Thorazine. And I remember when they used to take Zay, my boyfriend at the time, he they say that Zay committed suicide in Highland Park. I'm not absolutely sure of that, but Zay did um, make several attempts when we were younger. Um, my best friend Malika, she lived on the pin by Pembroke, and we were hanging out. Me, Malika, Lacey, and Zay. Malika brother Marlon. We was all in the house. And Malika's little brother Michael. We was all in the house at the time. And Malika is my like my god sister, and she's in California now. They all live in California. So Malika was like, Zay is in the tub. He's not moving. And I was like, what you mean? I went in there and I had to pull Zay out of the tub because he had submerged himself in the tub of water. His mother was so mad because she thought that I had something to do with it, but I literally did not realize that Zay was that like taking like life that like I didn't. Okay, come on now. I'm 15, right? So I pulled Zay out the tub. I was smart then, and this is real story. This is a real story because people that's alive can let you know that I did not know what it was called at the time, but it was CPR. I began to give Zay CPR, and then I plugged his nose and began to breathe into his mouth. And I was 15 at the time. Zay was older than me, so I was Zay was older than me like a year or so. And we called the ambulance, and I let his mother and them know because she lived right around the corner that hey, Zay just tried to drown himself in the tub. Okay, so back to I realized I was at Northville and I was like, oh my God, I'm here. Because at this point I was coming to see a Zay at Northville sometimes because he would have to spend like a month or two in there or 30-day evaluation and then 21. I never thought that I would make it. So I make it there. So the orderly comes in, right? And I'm just so calm. and he was about to give me the shot of Thorazine. I mean, he was about to give me Thorazine pills. And was about to give me the shot, and I began to explain to him. I was like, to the two orderlies, right? I was like, please, y'all. I was like, you do not. I was like, I learned my lesson. I was like, you do not need to put me in a straitjacket or shoot me up or give me the Thorazine. I was like, I do not like want to be of money. And then I was letting them know. I don't know how I got there that time. Oh, I know how I got there that time. This particular time, um, I was okay. So Big Mo is my oldest son's dad. So I've been knowing Big Mo since I was like 15. Big Mo is 13 years older than me. He was in the Air Force. He's still alive. So I went over to Big Mo house, I remember. And I had stopped at the liquor store on Puritan and Livernois. I forget the name of the liquor store. Not Trade Fair, because Trade Fair was on Finkel and Dexter. And I had got a fifth of Don Q 151 when I went to Big Mo house. At this time, Big Mo lives on Princeton, right across the street from my grandmother's house, actually, because Big Mo his people live on Puritan and Livernois now on the properties over there. So I remember going to Big Mo house and I had a fifth of Don Q 151 and I drunk it all to myself. And I remember Big Mo telling me, stop drinking all that Don Q 151. I had drunk the whole fifth of Don Q, and I don't drink. I haven't had a drink since I was a teenager. So I let people know I don't drink. I've been off of the bottle for many, many years now. But if it is when I was younger, I did. I was drinking, smoking, cool 100s, Newports, joints. So never no exotic drugs or anything like that. So that's all I remember. So I do remember um them trying to take me. They took Big Mo to let me take Big Mo to jail. No, this particular night, me and Big Mo ended up going to we ended up going to it was Sinai Hospital, Grace Hospital, or Sinai or Grace. They were separate then because we went up to the liquor store on Livernois and across from UD Mercy, no, across from the Church's Chicken. And we got into a fight with like 13 people or something. Something happened. Yeah. Me and Mo was fighting like 13 or 15 people. So that's what happened. And I think that's when the Fago bottles were leaders then. And I had bust a couple of people in the head because I had like 4 Fago bottles when we was leaving out the store, like a Coke and Pepsi. And I think we had some more liquor. So I remember Mo was like, you don't need nothing else to drink, right? But Bo, even though he was older than me, he can't tell me what to do. My parents can even tell me what to do, okay? So they came into the room and I was like, I learned my lesson. I was like, please don't put me in that straitjacket. I was like, please don't shoot me with that medicine. And please don't give me that Thorazine. I was like, if you do, I will not be the same. I was like, all I did was got too drunk. I was like, just let me lay here and drink it off. And I was like, I promise I won't get y'all no problems, right? And then it was like, no, no. And I was like, would you just get the supervisor? I was like, would you get the social worker? I was like, I refuse to take them Thorazines and any of them shots. I was like, no, I just refuse to. So the supervisor came in the room and I was like, please, miss. I was like, I don't want to get them shots. I was like, I don't want to take that medicine. I was like, I just got too drunk. I was like, I shouldn't be here. I was like, but I ended up here, as a attempted suicide. I said because a couple of years ago I jumped off the Southfield Freeway, but it wasn't a suicide. It was like a, a, it was like a fun ride for me because we all survived. I don't suggest anybody does that, but we used to jump off and then run across from each side while the cars was coming. So like, society looks at that like suicide. I was just crazy then. Just like I was just crazy because we used to play Russian roulette. We used to sit around and just pull the trick, just flip it, and all of us are still alive. But there were stories in my age that people died playing Russian roulette. It was all on the news and stuff, and that's when I started coming to the reality of like, oh my God, what was I doing with my own life? Just mentally like disturbed. So supervisor came in. I talked to her, the manager. I remember her, and she was like, she was a real nice white lady. She was like, okay. She was like, because I was a Murray then. Was I a Murray then? My father didn't change my name. Yeah, my name was changed by then. Okay, so she's like, okay. She was like, we're gonna let you just sober up for the night. She was like, but if you give anybody a problem, she was like, you got 7 to 21 days here. If you give anybody a problem up in here, she was like, it's the shots and the medicine. So the next morning I get up, I go to the they come and get you, right? And I had came in with like police cuffs on my hands and my legs because I had just been in that terrible fight because I had came in through Sinai. And I think Mo went on home. They let Mo go home because Mo was messed up too. We was in a real serious fight and I had hurt like 4 or 5 people. And it was some girls, a girl I knew or something happened. She said something happened. It just, me and my baby daddy went blitz. Okay. When I tell you it was like 4 or 5 people in the hospital, like with their head cracked open from Fago bottles, I'm serious. We fought men and women that day, that night, that evening. So a few days went by, and it was just quiet in there, and I was just sitting, and I was just looking at everybody as they walked around like zombies, like this was part of the program. And every now and then the little orderlies would just look at me, right, and just give me a look and just be like, okay, like don't be nothing stupid or whatever, because I didn't need to be laying up in no straitjacket like that, or just I had an alcoholic problem, and I didn't know that. And whatever mental issues that I was going through was causing me to drink because I was trying to mask it. I was so young, I had my own houses. Seriously, I had my own cars. I was with the Adidas Dolls. That's me and my sister Sue. Um, that's like really my best friend in the world. But we sisters, so like she get offended when I say we best friends because she feel like we sisters and we are sisters. And we're gonna be doing our podcast about the Adidas Dials. That's what we are. And I had people that supported me, but I needed to get myself together. But Sue didn't care. Missy or Shalene or Riri didn't care how crazy I was. You know what I'm saying? They would be like, "Girl, you so crazy," but so I think I ended up staying in there for 7 days. So I'm not saying I didn't have mental challenges or mental issues then, but that's when I stopped going to facilities because I was like, I don't want to be up in no facility. I want to be out here. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I stopped drinking, and putting like family members on the line and stuff like that. You feel me? So the way that I was able to overcome that mental lifestyle was I needed to just get my mind together. I had to get my thoughts together. I had to stop sabotaging myself and putting myself in harm's way and trying to be seen all the time or try to be heard all the time or try to have an answer to everything all the time. It was kind of like shadow work, which I know it is now, which I didn't know what it was then. But I guess I did a little bit of shadow work then and tried to work on myself. And as you grow, you change and you mature, and you should, and your values should change, you know? So, that was just a piece of my mental health challenges. So last week, um, I get a call from my mother, and my mother is a straight professional. She looks good, she represents good, she take care of her business, she work with her clients. But just with us, it's like it's all the way miss. And I'd be like, Mom, I just need you to be a mother. Um, this week, my mother was facing some mental challenges. Her car was down, and the last thing my mother wanted to do was have to ride around with me picking her up from work, me taking her to work. She had an attitude the whole time. Okay. And I was nice to her the whole time. I'm not saying that I'm nice to my mother all the time, but I realized the generational curses of mental illness that run in the family, and I don't want to be in the car. My mother would sit and nitpick with anybody and be negative with anybody. I don't know if it's because some of the jobs she have been like challenging for her with children or youth or whatever, but it's everything is like a negative condensation or conversation, to where all this week, I picked her up on time, dropped her off on time. I'm sorry that she had to be bothered with me taking her to work, but I felt that it made more sense than her trying to spend money on a rental car, and she's not far from work. So her car was supposed to be fixed the first day. It wasn't fixed. She had an attitude on the way home. It was, really tense in there. I kept my mouth shut. So the second day, so by the third day, her car was fixed. I take her up to the car lot. Now, mind you, I'm taking her to work, so I'm stopping at the gas station. I'm paying for the gas. Okay, I'm not about to ask my mother for gas. Okay, I'm paying for the gas. All right. It's a whole attitude the whole time. It's an attitude about the music I listen to, or just trying to start something. And I had to defend myself and just be like, look, lady, um, you not about to, your urgency is not my emergency. And I was like, Ma, I just don't want no negative, bad spirits on me. I just want to have a good day. Take you to work and you have a good day. That's it. Pick you up on time and you have a good day. So I realized that there was really some mental challenges there when I got her to the car place. Her car was ready. She jumps out my car as if she has an attitude with me. I haven't said anything to her. Whereas, oh, thank God I ain't got to ride with her no more. Leave her book bag in my car, and jumps in her van. Don't even see that I get out the parking lot. I look up, she gone out the parking lot. She ain't said thank you or anything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I started to feel some type of way, but I was like, I'm not about to allow her to put her mental frustration or whatever on me. I'm going to continue to have a wonderful day. That's what I'm going to continue to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, I realize that mental illness is generational. If I'm feeling some type of way, I'll start getting a call from my children. They feel some type of way, or you can also put it on your mate or whatever. So, I just, not saying that I'm not facing any challenges, but I just don't want to accept any generational curses on me at all, because I don't need them to get on my children at all, because we got to start changing how we look at mental health and mental illness, and start taking some accountability for ourselves too. What we allow, who we allow around us, take some accountability if this situation is toxic. Now, I'm not going to tell my mother the situation is totally toxic. So we were driving down Woodward and I saw a sign that said Wayne mental health, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, I said, that might be us, Mom. I was like, because for about 3-4 months, Pastor Joyce has been asking my mother to come and, because my mother does that type of work too, to come and just donate her time to listen to someone for the mental health. You know, Pastor Joyce has the We Care Center, and she doing the come listen to somebody. You could get free mental health resources, but they're asking people to donate an hour of their time to just listen to someone talk, right? And can you turn the heat down? Thank you. Or off. To come listen to some. I think I need some water. To come listen to someone talk. Okay. And my mom came to one Saturday, one session, so I'm thinking she's familiar and she received a package. So I just happened to see a billboard, and I was like, "Oh, that's us." I was like, "Yeah, you still gonna come and donate your time or whatever?" She was like, "I don't believe you. Y'all don't have a building there." I had said nothing about a building. You just mad because I don't believe you? And I was like, I had to, like, when you can't have a conversation with somebody, thank you. I had to explain to my mother, like, excuse me. I had to explain to my mother, I was like, I didn't say that it was any type of building there. I said I saw a billboard there talking about what we were talking about donating an hour of our time to listen to someone talk. I said I was thinking that was you know the people that Pastor Joyce had partnered with. Okay, so it was just the last day, and I wasn't about to get caught up in you making me feel bad for 2 or 3 days over a conversation that's not even important or none of that, you know. So sometimes we have to protect our mental health, even when it's dealing with a loved one, a parent, especially in a breakup. In a breakup, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts, but when it's a breakup, it hurts. Yes, it does. But sometimes we get too emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we take it too emotionally. So even when it's a breakup, it doesn't mean that, I don't know, if it's a toxic breakup and it's physical, um, we need to just move on from that. If it's not physical and it was just, well, if it's mental, we need to just move on from that. But if it's something and we sometimes we take things out of context and it's something that's in your spirit and your spirit won't let it go, then maybe you need to resolve that issue and get closure. But anyway, you need to get closure. But the way you do that is not listening to no sad songs. And the way you do that is not calling all of your friends and your relatives and repeating the bad thing that happened and what happens, because it's just going to be a continuance of what happened. If you need to talk about it with a few friends. Let them know, like, hey, me and this person broke up. This is what happened. This is hurting me right now. But after 2 or 3 days, we're not going to keep talking about the same thing that happened 3 days ago and continue on with it, because by the third day, we pulling up and we doing things. That's how the anger, continues to go. It's just a well-known thing. Like, people have taken this stuff so out of context these days. I have been seeing people angry about people moving on and getting other people to where they're going to do danger to that person. So we need to get it back to normal. Cuss the person out, go through a regular crying or whatever, but nobody's life is worth it. Because when you take somebody's life, you taking your own life. You're never gonna forget that. That's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life, and it's gonna follow you for the rest of your life, and you're gonna be turning your shoulder for the rest of your life, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially over some type of relationship. That's control. That's not being able to handle yourself. Move on. That's an opportunity for you to get in a new relationship yourself. Especially if somebody left you for somebody, it's gonna hurt for a couple of days, or not if they left you for somebody. They just left you. It's gonna hurt for a couple of days, but believe me, it's somebody there to fill that spot right up. But do you want that? Do you want somebody to fill that spot right up? Do you want that? Or do you want to take the time to get to know you and see what you do and how you do? But with that being said, everybody, everybody deserves companionship and should be booed up and have a boo and stuff like that. So there's a thin line when we talking about that, but you can't mentally go. And then I've been seeing in the news lines these dudes getting girls pregnant and going and harming her and their own child. I saw in the news line that a woman was so jealous of her own child. This is real, that she harmed her own child. Okay, we gonna say that. And when the husband came home for dinner, you know, he asked where his child was, and he didn't get charged because she harmed her own child. I'm gonna put it to you like that. Okay. He sat down for dinner and he was looking for his child. His child was right there. Okay. So that is just taking it too far. That ain't even got nothing to do with traumatized. That's just people being dramatized. That's past evil. Evil don't even do that. That's giving evil an excuse. That's mental health. That's being such a narcissist. Trying, if you can't control, if you can't control the situation, then the situation is going to be out of control. But then you still not controlling anything because you still have yourself locked up somewhere with people controlling you, whether it's prison, mental institution, or anything like that. So that is a warning for us all. Because a lot of us running around here, just running around crazy, think that there's no consequences for our mental behavior, and it is. It is. And you got to think about, some people feel like they don't have nothing to lose. If you don't have no family members, don't have no children, don't have no wife, don't have nothing, and don't have nothing to lose, don't lose yourself. That means the whole world gave up on you. Everybody gave up on you. You just useless, so you just give up on yourself, man. So having mental health is having courage to say in those few seconds of that moment, I'm not going to mentally go crazy about this situation, because it's been a crazy ride these last couple of years. I've been seeing people get slapped in the face, punched in the face, calling people the N word, and everything. It has been really out of control because we are not um, surviving mental health. But just a few tips on to survive mental health. so you can keep your peace and joy. Even with me, I'm talking to myself because the last few days, for the last week, I had such a lovely week, peaceful without things lingering around. This duty, this thing. I get a call this week. Here's something else. It's like something else to take up my time to get me off of YouTube. I'm new on my channel. I'm trying. I got things to do. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I am trying to actually give good content, work on a streaming, and doing some good content and videos that you all enjoy. So I don't have time for the little details. I don't have time for the things to interrupt this content. I really don't. So that becomes a mental stress for me, and actually another thing that you could do is smoke a little weed. That relieves a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. But make sure you do it moderately. Okay, don't just sit around and smoke weed and that's all you do. Okay, because that can lead to depression. All right, like do it as an adult. Do it with some sense. Make sure you take care of your business if you're going to smoke a little weed, but it does help with anxiety, depression. It does. It helps. It helps with panic attacks because majority of this, we're out here panic attacking. We are, we are, we are coming from out of a pandemic, which we still not totally out, into a war. And isn't that something how the war started during Black History Month? We couldn't have a month. Wow, we couldn't even have a month. So, and at war, gas is high. A lot is going on. War affects everybody. War affects everything and everybody. So it's always a world war, if you ask me, because it affects everyone. Gas prices, attitudes, everyone. So we need to, if we don't have massive mental health services, we need to start all taking responsibility and governing our own mental health services. And those of you that are causing serious mental effects on people, please go get some help. Help yourself. You know what I'm saying? Help yourself. Go get yourself some help or help yourself, because you're causing conflict. You're causing hurt on people. Like they said, hurt people hurt people. So, just if you hurt, just don't spread it, because we already hurt enough. Everybody's hurting already. So, we don't need you going around putting more hurt into the earth. Just being mean, causing triggers, saying things and doing things that cause people to feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? We need love. That's what we need. The world, the world needs. We need to give each other love and love ourselves. We don't love ourselves. That got a lot to do with mental health. We got to love ourselves. That has a lot to do with mental health. Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, hey, you, I love you. I don't understand you. If you ever look in the mirror and you don't understand yourself, just keep looking. And your spirit man going to look at you and he's going to spook you out. And he's going to just be like, I love you. And he's going to be like, I love you too. So you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. I had to stop running around here having street fights and walking down the street being loud, and everywhere I went there was an incident, there was an issue, there was a problem everywhere I went. Okay, so I had to stop doing that, and I had to start loving myself and respecting myself, because I didn't have any respect for myself. I didn't have any respect for myself at all, you know and or others around me. I just wanted to fight, drink, argue, get money. I got money, and I didn't live on nobody with an attitude, but my attitude was horrible. My mental well-being was horrible. I was from a family of mental health issues. There was rape and abuse. There was molestation. You know what I'm saying? I had an older female cousin molest me. No capping. But if I told my mother this stuff today, she would say I was lying. Hmm. Or she would say that I was trying to get attention. You know what I'm saying? That's what she would say. Um, who gonna lie about that? My mother would say that I was a big liar. Who wants that type of attention? I could give myself attention, and when I was 9 years old, I knew there was going to be an issue with me and my mother. I knew that at 9 because my bags was packed up at 9 years old. I had no issues with that. At 9 years old, I knew that I was going to be on my own. And at that time of life, it wasn't hard to be on your own at 9. There was a lot of opportunities for me out there. You feel me? Earl Flynn was out there, which they called themselves the Earl Flynn. The YBI was out there. It was a lot. It was a lot of opportunities out there for me at 9, if you want to call those opportunities. So, when I came home and the garbage bags was on the porch, 2 times I came home. One time when I was 9, I went around to my friend Suzette house, and I remember calling my Uncle Greg too. That was the other side of the family and living with them or whatever. Or I used to go to Highland Park to my granny Gloria house or go at Highland Park, my auntie's auntie and stuff. Yeah. So I knew that I was going to have to so sad that so many parents don't believe their kids. I know, because I came home at 9 and I told my mother what happened, and my clothes was out on the porch. Like, seriously. Excuse me. I hope YouTube doesn't ban me for this. Is really not a lot of THC. This is CBD for pain anyway. So I've been sitting here for a minute. Yeah, that is sad. Parents don't believe you. They think that you're trying to uh embarrass their family, or that you're trying to get attention, or you're trying to create problems in their life, you know. So the thing that was sad about it in my situation, and I'll elaborate just a little bit, is because this was around Easter, and my mom bought me this beautiful pink Easter dress, and I remember her friend Pearl, and did Pearl have kids? I don't remember. We all went to church, and I kept getting my butt whipped because I kept peeing in my dress. That's because I had been violated, and my mother kept asking me what was wrong with me, and I kept saying, "Hey, um, some things happened while you was at work that shouldn't have happened." And then I guess the details of the story was so overwhelming for her because it wasn't one person, it was several people. I was 9 years old. And I guess the details was overwhelming. And she was like, "Who taught you how to lie?" And then I knew that there was an issue because the next Sunday, I wasn't with that my mom. The next Sunday was the next Sunday, and I was with my cousin Wanda, and I was in Highland Park at the church that my other grandmother, be at. And my cousin Wanda is a little older than me, and we went to the bathroom downstairs, and she saw that something wasn't right inside my underwear because she was helping me in the bathroom. She wasn't putting her hands on me or nothing. She was literally, I was like 9, and I think Wanda was like 10 or 11. But I guess Wanda was trying to figure out why I could not stop using the bathroom on myself. So she was investigating, like, what happened to you or whatever. And then I think she told my grandmother Burrell, boy, and then that's when all hell broke loose. So I came home and I didn't have any all of my clothes. I didn't have any access into the house, and all of my clothes was on the porch. And I had to move in with my grandmother after this. The same place that things had took place, right? So yeah. So anyway, I'm a survivor of um mental illness, because at 9, that was very traumatic situation for me to go through, and I had to get my own self together. Um yeah. Um I began to fight everybody in the house, brooms, frying pans. I didn't care. I began to rip and run the streets at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And seriously, by 14 or 15, I did own my own homes, like 3 of them. Um, that was just it, because I knew that I needed a place to stay. So that's real. Everything. So about 16, 17, I started talking to my parents again, and I was going to their house because I wanted to finish my education. A lot was going on. But I didn't need to go to their house. I didn't need to go to their house. Um then I think when I was like 17 or 18, that's when we moved to Highland Park. Um uh, and Titus and Taisha's dad, Big Titus, he his father owned a 2-family flat that we moved in, and he had gave us to move in. It was 2 flats. It was one across the street from each other in Highland Park. So um, I'm appreciative for people that made sure I had a roof over my head and stuff. And LaShawn used to make sure that I was staying in school and stuff. Because during all of this, I went to Highland Park Community. I went to Mercy. My mother did get me in school when I got about 16 to Mercy College for me to take the campus test. And I started going to Mercy College with her. But I was basically living on my own. But yeah, surviving mental health. It has been real. Like I said, I did have a female cousin that molested me and everything. I loved my cousin and stuff, but like I remember her touching on my breast and shit. But I remember that. Okay, so like yeah. So just growing up in the streets of Detroit, um I did I did get together during the holidays, like my auntie Thea house and stuff like that, to go visit the rest of the family. But the rest of the family didn't know our business or didn't know what was going on up in our business. But yeah, so surviving mental health, that's just the gist of it. I got more story times to tell y'all about more situations, but surviving mental health is just taking accountability of yourself and just talking to yourself, taking the time out to care about yourself and love yourself, and say, hey, I'm not about to go mentally crazy about this. I'm not about to let this situation trigger me. I'm not about to let this situation get down. Like, I have really been facing some real serious life challenges in the last like 10 years. Like, I tell you, it's been one thing after the other. But um my advice is, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. Even though we have these national emotions, that in we can't dwell in those emotions. If nobody is there to motivate us, we have to motivate ourselves, lift ourselves up. And you know what I'm saying? Somebody told me this week that they believed in me. I really needed to hear that, because sometimes we could get so depressed that we don't believe in ourselves and we don't see our way out. And we could cause the very thing we don't want to happen. And that causes more mental stress, more mental pain, more mental situations and challenges. So I have been on here for an hour. If you like this content, subscribe to this channel, press the like button, share this content. I really appreciate the comments. You're right. It is so sad that many parents don't believe their children. We have to find out what we have to find out what is it what is it what is it that stops the parents from believing in the children? Are they having issues from a childhood that they're not dealing with? Are they facing things that they are able to talk about? Did something happen to them? Does it cause them mental stress? So let me know in the comments. Let me know. Thank you for your comments. Share this video, please. Like the video. Trying to get these likes up. Those of you that are going to see this video on Facebook after it airs, share the video. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, okay, to support your girl Cheryl Shana on the new channel. Check us out on the DET Hip Hop Awards channel on YouTube. We are currently having our DET Grammys on 420. That's right, the DET first annual DET Grammys on 420. We got a lot of special people coming out. The flyer will be out today. Go support the channel, the DET Hip Hop Award channel on YouTube. If you're an artist, if you're a manager, if you are a promoter and you want yourself nominated, go to the DET Awards on Facebook. And it's Cheryl Shana on Facebook, CHEROSHANNA on Facebook, and it's Cheryl Shana on TikTok. Follow me and I'll follow you back. Hashtag out to all my BFE members on TikTok with that best friend energy. Shout out to Fat Girl Risky and a few other people going over there on TikTok. Follow those that follow you. Support those that support you. Support those that have their product coming out. And speaking of product, Michigan Queens merch will be out, okay? Michigan Queens t-shirts, Michigan Queens jersey. Support women's empowerment, Michigan Queens. If you want to come and support the Michigan Queens, go to Michigan Queens on Facebook. We have our agenda up, our itinerary for all of the games. We're looking for a Michigan Queens prep team, dance team, just to come to a few of the meets and have some fun and hype things up. We are a winning championship team. Shout out to the Michigan Queens. Shout out to Chels Renee. She has her photo, her 360. I hope I'm saying it right. Photo merch out. That's Chels Renee on Facebook, where you can check out those beautiful photo t-shirts. And also, I want you guys to get ready for J. Lil Webb's Million Mind podcast. I'm gonna need you guys to check that out. J. Lil Webb is on YouTube as J Chronic or J. Lil Webb. Okay, so it's your girl Cheryl Shana, aka Sunshine Murray, on Instagram. I will be on my Instagram today. A few people have been asking me a few questions. So I am going to be on my Instagram today to answer those questions. And thank you. If you enjoyed the content, if you want to get more engaged about these topics, if you need to have first of all, let me say this. I did not say this. I had this ready for you guys. Hold on a second because this is the most important thing. Um um okay, there we go. Okay, if you are looking for I need to get this free research. Hold on, this one's not free. Hold on, I have the number. Okay, now here we go. So anybody that needs to talk to someone right away about mental health services, please call 1-800-273-TALK 8255 to reach a 24-hour crisis center. Text MHA to 741-741. It says to call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room, but I was just trying to give you that 1-800 resource. Anyone, let me repeat it again, that's facing mental health challenges and needs some immediate support. Okay, I'm going to need you to call 1-800-273 TALK. That's 8255 to reach a 24-hour crisis center worker. Okay, it's Cheryl Shauna, aka Sunshine Murray. Share the content, subscribe to my new channel, and that's it.